There was a time when Mazda was a cheaper alternative to the likes of Honda and Toyota. That is no longer the case. Now it's a more premium brand. You can see that reflected in their build quality as well as their pricing. The cheapest variant of the Mazda 3 sells for 1.3 million, which is significantly more expensive than the Civic 1.8S. This Mazda 3 Speed sells for over 1.5 million. Is it worth the money? And does it live up to the hype? Let's find out. Unlike other Japanese cars in this segment, like the Civic, the Mazda 3 isn't very angular. It doesn't have a lot of straight lines. It has plenty of soft curves that blend into each other. It's a softer look, but it gets really aggressive towards the front and the back. I think it's one of the most aggressive looking cars in the segment. The long hood gives it a pretty sleek appearance, especially when viewed from the side. The LED projector headlamps are sharp and recessed, and the hood extends far forward, forming a sharp ridge over the headlamps. It gives the illusion that the car has furrowed brows. As a result, it looks angrier than the previous model. The taillights have a three-dimensional look to them, and they're also pretty aggressively designed. The car looks more European than Japanese. It kind of looks like a Jaguar XE. The Mazda 3 Speed Edition adds a couple of aerodynamic / aesthetic parts. It has a front splitter. It has side skirts. It has a rear diffuser. And it has 18-inch wheels. If I were to nitpick, the only issue that I have with the Sportback is that the rear end looks a bit too rounded. The previous model had a shoulder in between the C-pillar and the quarter panel. On this model, they got rid of the shoulder, which makes the car look weird in certain angles. But like I said, I'm nitpicking. The rest of the car looks so good that it can be overlooked. The Mazda 3 is available in 6 colors. This one right here is called Soul Red Crystal, which I think is one of the most eye-catching shades of red that I've seen on a compact sedan. It's the color to get, in my opinion. Overall, the new Mazda 3 is a beautiful car. It's a very tastefully designed vehicle. It looks very aggressive, yet subdued at the same time. I think it's the kind of design that would appeal to the young and the mature alike. The name Mazda 3 Speed might be a bit confusing to some Mazda enthusiasts. This is not a Mazda Speed 3. It's a Mazda 3 Speed. It's the same difference between a BMW M3 and a BMW 316i M Sport. The former is the high-performance model. The latter only has aesthetic mods. The Mazda 3 Speed doesn't have a lot of performance modifications. The Mazda 3 Speed is powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated gasoline engine, which produces 151 horsepower and 200 Newton meters of torque. For a regular car, those are not bad numbers, but if you're expecting a speedster, you might be disappointed. But still, it has more power than a Civic 1.8. The engine is coupled to a 6-speed tranny. Thankfully, it's not a CVT. Okay, so this is the interior of the Mazda 3 Speed. Wait lang, I'm getting a lot of glare. So, it looks similar to the sedan's interior, except that you have a lot of red leather. You have red leather on the dashboard. The seats are covered in red leather. Yeah. You have a leather covered steering wheel. Over here are your controls for your infotainment. Cruise control. This vehicle has lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and adaptive cruise control. You have dual zone climate control. I'm getting plenty of glare, sorry about that. Over here is a USB port. You have a leather covered armrest. Underneath you have one USB port over here, a 12-volt outlet. The vehicle has a pretty high center console, which is also leather covered, by the way. Almost the entire top half of the dashboard is soft padded. This is plastic though. This is plastic. This is leather. You have an electronic parking brake. You have piano black plastic. As you can see, it has plenty of fingerprints already. Fingerprint magnets. You have asymmetrical air vents. The ones over here are straight and narrow. The ones over here are not straight. You have a start-stop button. You have a sunroof. Okay, like on the sedan, the dashboard looks pretty uncluttered. Compared to the previous model, this looks more simple. It's more minimalistic. You don't get a lot of buttons in this area, unlike on the previous model. You have one USB port over there, and the other ones are hidden underneath the armrest. Yeah, so headroom is pretty good. I have plenty of elbow room. Let's check out the dash. Key not detected. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so we'll get to test drive it later. So initial impressions, this feels pretty upmarket. I mean, compared to the Civic, the Altis, this feels more European. You have aluminum accents over here. Okay, this feels like real aluminum. It's not chrome plastic like on most sedans in this price bracket. Okay, I can see one significant difference already between this hatchback and the sedan. I have very limited legroom. Headroom is also not as generous. Yeah, visibility is pretty low because of this sloping window line. You have two air vents over here. You don't get USB ports or 12-volt outlets. You have a center armrest with two cup holders. The new Mazda 3 is pretty high-tech. It has every active safety feature that you can get on a modern car. It has adaptive cruise control, it has cross-traffic alert, it has lane departure warning, it has blind spot monitoring, And it also has driver monitoring, which monitors you, the driver. If you're getting drowsy or distracted, or if it detects abnormal driver activity, it gives you a warning. And it also has a 360 camera. It also has a 12-speaker infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it has navigation. It has automatic headlamps. The Mazda 3 rides like a premium vehicle. Sound insulation is very good. Ride quality, even with these 18-inch wheels, is not bad. The Mazda 3 Speed rides a bit lower compared to the other variants, so there is a chance that you'll scrape. Okay, I'm used to driving lowered cars, so it's not something that bothers me, but I'm sure there are a few people who will have issues with it. The car has an auto stop and go function. When you're at a stoplight, the engine automatically turns off, and then it turns back on again when you step on the gas. It is almost seamless, and unless you're looking at the tach, you probably won't notice the engine turning off. It is designed to improve fuel economy, but if you don't like the feature, it can be turned off. Buying a car oftentimes involves a tug of war between the heart and the brain. The brain wants something practical, something cost-effective, while the qualifications of the heart are a bit more subjective. There's something about the Mazda 3 that tugs at the heartstrings. When you step inside, you see what you pay for, and when you step outside, you see what you pay for. It's a handsome looking car. It looks premium, and it has all the bells and whistles. I just wish that it was priced just a little bit lower, or that it had a bit more power, so it would make more sense than a Civic RS Turbo.